It's a first warning weather day as we deal with the start of a very cold weekend. Good Friday evening, everyone. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano. Our weather team has team coverage of this frigid weather. Meteorologists Janna and Leon Purvis, they're standing by. But first, let's start with meteorologist Don Maher, who's braving the cold for us tonight. Don?
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, certainly has been a cold night out here, and we're going to see wind chills once again dipping below zero as we move on into the overnight. We do have wind chill advisories that have been posted for Berkshire County as well as Franklin County, Western Hampshire, Western Hampden County. These are for wind chills that could drop 15, 20, 25 degrees below zero. And as of right now, no wind chill advisory for Eastern Hampden or Eastern Hampshire County. Reason for that is the criteria for a wind chill advisory from the National Weather Service is wind chills expected to drop from 15 below zero to 24 below zero for 3 hours or more. And we're not expecting to see that here in Eastern Hampden or Eastern Hampshire County. However, we could still briefly see wind chills that cold. We're not expected to see it for 3 hours or more. In other words, to reach that wind chill advisory criteria. But it's still going to be a cold night tonight as wind chills once again dip below zero. The winds will slowly begin to slacken off a bit, as Jan has been mentioning all evening. And for more on that, in fact, let me send it back inside to meteorologist Janna Brown. And Janna, you mentioned earlier this evening, less than 50 days till spring. It's still not going to get here soon enough for me.
Especially since it's New England and we always get cold and snow in the spring. Poor Don. It'll be coming for you soon enough.
Thanks, Janna.
I promise. So we do have these wind chill advisories up for the hills like Don just mentioned. They've already gotten started in Berkshire County. They get started for Franklin, Western Hampshire, Western Hampden. I believe it's 7, and they're going to expire tomorrow morning. So the worst of the wind chill will be the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. Right now, everybody is feeling like 0 to 5 below zero right now, so it's not terrible. The wind has definitely started to lighten up a little bit compared to earlier in the day. Right now, sustained wind anywhere between 10 and 15 miles an hour. And I think it'll stay that way most of the night, occasionally gusting up to 20 miles an hour. What will be changing is the temperatures, though. Right now, almost into the single digits for the hill towns, and you will definitely be seeing some single digits above and below zero tonight. Lower single digits expected for the Pioneer Valley. Clear skies, we'll keep that straight through Saturday as well. So overnight temperatures 5 below to 5 above, winds out of the northwest at about 10 to 20 miles an hour. And your Saturday, sunshine throughout the day. You can see wind chills starting way below zero in the morning, but then kind of evening out throughout the day, at least feeling above zero with highs back to near 20. We continue warming up as we head into next week, but there's snow on the way. All that in a few minutes. Chris?
Great. Janna, thank you for that. Our team coverage turns to area shelters doing everything they can to accommodate the homeless, but numbers are limited due to the pandemic. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis joins us live from our MGM studios after he checked in with a Springfield shelter operating at less than half bed capacity. Leon?
Chris, over at the Springfield Rescue Mission, they say that they can only fill up to 28 beds at night during these unusual times. And I'm told that they've been full for the past 3 weeks. Now, when it is 20 below degrees freezing or there is snow outside, they're prepared to have a full house, and most of the staff volunteer their time to stay open on Sundays. With the dangerous cold right now, the executive director of the rescue mission tells Western Mass News they filled all the beds last night and tonight, but they will assist others who show up for help.
We have a couple of numbers in place that we can call for assistance, and again, if somebody shows up at our door, gets dropped off by the police department, we're not going to turn anybody away in these conditions. We'll prop them up in a chair, give them a hot cup of coffee or soup, and again, a blanket so they can stay warm until they can get picked up and moved to another facility.
Check-in already took place at the Springfield Rescue Mission for tonight. People will receive food, a bed to sleep in tonight, and then leave around 8:30 in the morning. Now, I should also add that masks and social distancing protocols are being followed inside the shelter as well. Live in Springfield, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you for that live report. And to stay up to date on our forecast and this stretch of cold weather, make sure you have our free Western Mass News streaming app. Developing news now out of the sports world tonight. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association's board has officially approved a second fall sports season, so that paves the way for high school football to be played this spring. The MIAA tells Western Mass News that decision to play or not is now in the hands of local schools and local boards of health. With today's approval, the organization also okayed a list of modifications that teams must make if they decide to play this year. And some of those include football players having to wear face coverings or masks at all times. Players must also bring their own water bottles to practice and games. And there will be no pregame or postgame handshakes. For a look at all of the modifications, you can visit our website, westernmassnews.com. As of today, MGM Springfield's back open for business 24 hours a day. The casino had been on reduced hours due to the pandemic and COVID-19 restrictions put in place by Governor Baker. While the casino is now open all day and night, capacity will remain at just 25%. Casino officials say this feels like a step towards normalcy, and they also say their hope is to see the hotel and the Tap Sports Bar reopen in the near future. Western Mass News is your vaccine authority. More than 600 people signed up to get a COVID-19 shot at the Eastfield Mall today in Springfield. But many people say they're struggling to use the online sign-up system, particularly people 75 and older. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo has more.
Signing up for a COVID-19 vaccine at one of the state's mass vaccination sites appears to be a lesson in internet literacy. Many seniors are trying to sign up for appointments and are perplexed by the online system.
If it wasn't for my daughter-in-law and my son, I don't know how we would have signed up.
We've received dozens of phone calls into our Western Mass News Vaccine Authority hotline about the process. And each time we get a call, our team receives an email notification. This log here shows just the sheer number of people clamoring for more information.
Do you normally use the internet and in your daily life?
No, never. I've never.
79-year-old George Gavoni says a family member tried to book him an appointment online, and even she had trouble confirming the appointment was actually made.
She called me back about 5 minutes later. She said I went on a little more. She said, now they're saying no.
We spoke with Springfield's Health and Human Services Commissioner Thursday about this problem and how she's working to fix it.
What we are doing in the city of Springfield is working with our library system and our Department of Elder Affairs to provide assistance to elders who may not have computers to sign up to get vaccinated.
Helen Colton Harris says Springfield resident seniors can call their local library for help booking an appointment. Now, for those ages 65 to 74, they are prioritized second in phase 2. Some local towns are compiling waiting lists for people in this age group, as they will not be immediately eligible for the vaccine next week when phase 2 begins. Those wait lists tend to be for vaccine clinics run by individual town health departments, not the mass site in the Eastfield Mall. For more information, call your town's health department to see if they're compiling a waiting list. In Springfield, Audrey Russo, Western Mass News.
Turning now to the latest coronavirus numbers in our state over the last 2 weeks. Due to a technical issue that's delaying nearly 25,000 test results, today's numbers are lower. Those will be reported tomorrow. The Mass Department of Public Health, though, is reporting more than 2,700 new cases today. That brings the total number of confirmed COVID cases in the Bay State to more than 491,000. More than 74,000 of those are believed to currently be active. And the state also reporting 98 new deaths from the virus. The statewide death toll stands at just over 14,000. Now to Westfield, where the cancellation of this year's air show is not only a big disappointment to usual attendees, but small businesses that rely on that extra boost. Western Mass News spoke to the president of the Greater Westfield Chamber Board, Dino Gravinas. He tells us they understand the circumstances that forced the cancellation, and they're thinking of new ways to possibly help those businesses impacted.
It's definitely affecting Main Street businesses, and a lot of these businesses are owned by our friends and neighbors. So it definitely is important to help come up with some alternative ways. If we've learned anything during this pandemic, is to get creative and figure out ways to reinvent ourselves.
While no plan is yet set in stone, Gravanas tells us they are hoping to work within the current restrictions to involve as many people and businesses as possible. We'll keep you posted. A South Hadley parent speaking out about how remote learning has become very difficult for her special needs son. He's calling on the school district to allow high-need students to come back into the building. Western Mass News reporter Briseida Landaverde has the exclusive story.
6-year-old Raymond Guerin Jr. is a first grader at Plains Elementary School in South Hadley. His father, Ray Guerin, tells Western Mass News Raymond has autism and has an individualized education plan, which requires him to receive services like speech and occupational therapy, something he hasn't had access to since March, with the exception of going back for in-person learning for just 3 weeks in November.
Raymond doesn't have the attention span to be able to sit at a computer.
His mom works overnight so she can assist him during the day, but the family says they need resources from the school district.
Raymond's supposed to be getting speech every day. He's supposed to be getting physical therapy. He's supposed to be getting occupational therapy all through his IEP, and he's being provided none of that.
Ray is calling on the South Hadley School District to return high-need students to in-person learning. He has touched base with Elizabeth Cook, the Director of Student Services, but he says he has not received much help.
I've talked to her twice now, but there's been no follow-through on her end. I was supposed to have in-home services 3 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting for her to call me back.
We reached out to the school district, and the interim superintendent responded saying, in part, "We are aware of parents' concerns and they are being addressed. Our director of student services works closely with families, outside agencies, and school personnel to provide the most support possible," and goes on to say, "We are doing everything in our power to have students return as soon as it is safe to do so." For Western Mass News, I'm Briseida Landaverde.